Right. Hey, Sion. Doing it as a live stream today. Bit strange, I realise, because you're probably asleep in bed. It must be, 5 in the morning there? Something like that, maybe? I'm not sure. You happen to be here. How weird is this? That is crazy. Okay, well, hey, Sion. So today I'm going to be looking at this segment display again. Now, I think I've fallen out of love with the MCP, 23017, which is what I have on the breadboard here. Now, the reason I fell out of love with it is because you have to have resistors for every one of these filaments. And it's partly the way that I've wired it up. So I've got, I've commoned the positives on, or the anodes on these LEDs, and the cathode is we're syncing the current essentially with the IC. Now, ordinarily with an LED, you'd stick a resistor on each LED, but with the TLC 5940, this IC just here, it will sync the current, and you set the maximum current per input with an external resistor, just one. So you use one resistor for that whole for the whole thing basically, and I think it's something like a 2.2K limits it to 10 milliamps per channel, but I'd probably want to limit it further. So I think I'm going to go back to the TLC 5940, unfortunately. I think I'm done with the MCP. I bought loads. It cost me like £5. I say loads. I only got 3, but it cost me about £5. So I think I'm going to get rid of it. Now, if I jump to this one. Oh, hang on a minute. The chat's disappeared. Let's add it back. Oh, that's annoying. Top chat. What? I don't want it to be top chat. Let me just sort this out. Sorry, I thought I'd done this, but obviously not. So you can sit up there. Oh. Okay, so this is the TLC 5940, and this is the MCP 23017, which is an I2C device. And I think actually the I2C one is great. Really like the way we can just use I2C on here. The SDL and SCL lines, the serial clock, or SCK it says here. I've never seen it written like that. But one thing it doesn't do is, I thought you said it could do PWM, but I can't find a library that shows me how to do that. So I'm going to be using the TLC 5940 because it does PWM. It's built as an LED driver, so it's really great at that. And the MCP isn't exactly great at that. So if I have a look at where is my code? Okay, so this is just the MCP 23017, the Adafruit library. Now, let's just preferences. There we go, that's better. I wanted to sort of port the code that I already have, my numbers array, over to the MCP, but I just find this annoying that I have to have a resistor for each one of the channels. And so I've thrown on 2.2K resistors on these, so it's fairly bright still, but it means we have to have quite a few resistors. How many segments are there again? So there's 8 plus 6. That is 14. Is that right? I'm not sure. Sion, you'll have to tell me. So yeah, I couldn't find a method in the library to do PWM. Let's see if I can. MCP 23017. Arduino library. So if we go to their Git, and have a wee look at their code. So these are, is there one where it tells you what the methods are? Is that what the H is? Yeah, so these are the methods that you can use. So you've got pin mode, digital write, pull up, digital read, write GPIO-AB, that's if you're matrixing, whatever the thing is, set interrupts. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything in here for doing it via PWM. Not that I could see anyway. I may be wrong, but I couldn't find a single thing for it. So, which is very frustrating, because I thought PWM would be useful for changing the brightness. Now, the TLC 5940 can do that very, very easily. So let me just do the pop-out chat so I can read it too. Yes, Ian, I was planning on resistors for each of the segments at the start. However, that's before I realized how massive the board has become. Look at the size of the darn thing. I wish there was a, can you do view? Zoom out? I wish there was a, to make it the real size. That would be great. Never mind. So the board is massive right now. So if I look at, get a ruler on the go. Whoops. So that is, well, it's not quite to the bottom, but 90, let's say 94. It's huge. So yeah, I'm thinking of omitting the resistors. I know I'm missing some segments. I need an extra one in there. So I've altered my schematic and added a couple more on here. We've also got a decimal point now. I popped that in down here, which is just an LED with a couple of these test pads, so completely unconnected. But the LED would poke through this hole from the reverse side of the board, so that you wouldn't have it sitting on the top. But it's still a through-hole component, but it would be soldered on as if it were an SMD thing. So yeah, I'm going to lean towards the TLC 5940, I'm afraid. Oh, what's this? There appear to be other people here listening in on our conversation. Well, hello everyone. So yeah, what I'm gonna do today is finalize the schematic for the TLC 5940. I'm going to abandon the MCP 23017 for now and let you work on that and see if you can get anywhere with PWM. And I want to see how you get on with the layout with all those resistors, because there'd be a lot of them. I mean, you are right. I originally wanted to have resistors, and I wanted to have a cutout so that they would sit, the resistor body would sit inside a cutout and have them maybe soldered on the reverse side of the board, so it would just look interesting. But for now, I'm going to go with this approach, and if it changes, it changes. You know, I can sort that out. So I'm just going to add some more resistors on. Resistors, LEDs. So let's copy this one and plonk one there. And I think I'm only missing 2 segments, I think. Hopefully. Oh, I haven't updated my Eagle yet. LM. That's a bit of a big noise, isn't it? Let's just turn that down. No, I want to do name. And that one's going to be JKL. So those are those 2 there. And that's it, isn't it? Is that the right amount? Hopefully. You got 10 of those MCPs. Well, I reckon it will still work with them. It's just, I'm just not sure it's the best approach. But that's why we're both doing it at the same time, so we can figure this kind of thing out. Yeah, the chat delay is quite small. I changed it to the ultra low latency. Hey, Eric's here as well. Hey, man. So I'm just going to go ahead and move these around. I watched your live stream the other day. Not live though, I don't think, unless I was a bit tipsy after football and I forgot that I've watched it. But it was like 2.5 hours long. I sat through it this morning. It was great, and I'm going to be embarrassed by my my routing skills, I think. So I also discovered a bit of a problem with the part that I created. So the pad isn't sort of equidistant from the sides here. So they don't match up when you try and align them if they're rotated a certain way. So it's a bit annoying. I'm just going to have a drink. I've been talking a lot. Oh, Peter's using KiCad. Yeah, I've got KiCad. I just don't really get along with it as well as I do with Eagle. I'm not sure this angle's right either. Does that look right? You've got an idea for mounting the LEDs to make adding resistors quite easy, assuming you can pull it off. Well, I look forward to hearing that. Currently, I'm just going to... Well, it's just me chickening out, really, isn't it? And not going with the LED resistors, rather. So let's see. These sort of need to be roughly aligned, don't they? They don't need to be perfect. Our eyes are pretty good at figuring out stuff. But these don't look quite right. I mean, the problem is, because of these, maybe I can just make the angles less acute or more acute. I don't know what the thingy is. Let's have a look at the rotation. So the angle on this is 105. Which way does 100 send it? Okay, maybe I could do that. Do you think that's okay, Sion? To have them less acute? Yeah, I think that's okay, isn't it? So if I make the other one, what's the other one? It'll be a mirror, won't it? So 70. Oh no, wait. 80. It's super hot here today. I don't know what the temperature is, but it was 29 degrees in my house earlier, which is super, super hot. And I did not enjoy it. That's gone back, hasn't it? Yeah. So one that was 100. Yeah, they do, don't they? Shall I measure what the cutout width is? Whoops. Can I not measure from there? We're going to have to open up the library. Where is it? So what time is it, Sion? So let's have a look at the milled package and let's measure this cutout. Maybe I can make that smaller. Oops. What is that? Draw a dimension. Okay, we'll just measure. So from 60 to 62. What am I looking at? I just want to know what the length of that line is. 456, 60 to 62. I don't know how to measure this. There's no measurement tool in here. Okay, so well, I'll just go, it's a little bit longer than that line. So it's 100. Is that what I was reading there before? I don't really know what I'm doing here. So 60 to 62, so it's 120. Okay. 120 what? Let's just have a look at my grid and change it to millimeters so I can understand what that is. So it is 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters wide. We might be able to make this a bit smaller. Just grab one of these. Grab one of the filaments. I could make it 2 millimeters. Is it 2? It's a little bit over 2. 2.2. Alright, let's make it smaller. So, if it needs to be 2.2, it needs to be 1.1 to minus 1.1. And then over here we'll do the same. Minus 1.1 to 1.1. Okay, so that's the width now. So let's save that. Exit. Library, update all. Okay. Alright, so I've made it a bit smaller. Oh, that looks nicer, doesn't it? Oh, that's much better. Let me just update that on the... I'll just update the filaments LED thingamabob. So I put a link in that last video, Sion, with the library. Yeah, the library, the filaments LED one. I'm just going to update it with this smaller footprint. Documents, Eagle. Okay, I've just updated it. So we've got a smaller width. So that is now 2.2 rather than 4. That'll be better, won't it? They're still kind of long though, aren't they? Maybe I've got the length wrong. Shall I check that again? I don't think I have. So the maximum length is 30. And some of them are a bit smaller, 28. So let's, oh, okay. I might have to just, have to have a quick check. So, what is the length of those metal pads? I'm using some calipers just to figure out. So the length of the metal pad is 2.4 millimeters on one side and 2.8 on the other. So how long is this pad? Oh, why can't I select it? It is SMD size 78. I don't really know what 78 means in this context, but we'll cheat and find out. So that's 50, so it's 0.5 millimeters, God. So yeah, that's 5 millimeters, is it? Hang on a minute. If it's 2.2 up, it's 2.2 on here. Anyway, yeah, so that makes sense. It's 2.2 by 2.2, roughly. And the things are 2.9, so they're going to stick out a bit. That's fine. Okay. I'm still happy enough with that. We don't need to mess around with that anymore. So yeah, this is the schematic. And the thing with the TLC 5940, it requires extra pins that your I2C one doesn't. So it's a bit of a pain, but I have to break more of them out, unfortunately. So the ones that I need to have broken out are the blank pin, no, not that one. I don't need that. Or that, the clock pin, the other clock pin, serial in, serial out, XLAT, and then that's it. So it needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, is that right? Yeah, it does actually. And then power and ground. Kind of frustrating that. But obviously, one display needs serial in, and the other display will need serial out. And so that one switches over to serial out and in. So can they be connected in some way? Not really. What did you miss? Well, I solved it. I actually solved the whole thing while you were away getting coffee. So it's finished. We've actually... No, I haven't solved anything, but I have made these smaller. So these are now 2.2 millimeters in width, which is okay in terms of width for these. And I'm just changing the angle. Oh, I need to remember I can use the middle mouse. I'm changing the angle of these so that it sort of fits a little nicer with the board. That's interesting. So this... Is that right? It's very, very difficult to do this. Why is it changed already? Oops. I just did undo and it undid several things. That's frustrating. Yeah, look, I undid 2 things at once. So that one is 80. Oh, that's... Yeah, that's right. And that one is 100. Can you shift select things? No, you can't. So I'm using these large crosshairs to try and... Well, this actually shows you that my grid was off, or it doesn't compare exactly with each other part. So I'm trying to align it with that one down the bottom. But that one down the bottom is a little bit too close to this cutout, isn't it? So let's bring it down. So I've been a bit slack with these videos recently. What I should have been doing was working on this a lot. But, you know, like the World Cup's happening. And I've just had a few other projects on, so I haven't really gotten around to finishing this thingy off. Or getting my first prototype printed. I think that's the main sort of task for this evening, is to get at least one board done that I can send off to be fabricated, so that we can just see how it looks with cutouts. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee it won't be perfect, but it will be... It'll be a board, at least. Okay. Does that line up? No, I don't know how I keep messing this up. Roughly. I don't know how I'm going to route all of this. Look at it all. Okay. So, okay, they line up, they line up. That's interesting, isn't it? There's a much larger gap down the bottom here. Okay. You're going to skip the breadboard and go straight to PCB layout. Okay. You need to make the boards wider. Vertical and horizontal needs to have their corners spaced better. What do you mean? What does that mean? They need to have their corners spaced better. Do you mean that these need to have more space to make things look appropriate? Or do they need to be more of an angle? The corner of each cut needs to be 45 degrees from each other. I don't know what you mean, Sion. I'm sorry, buddy. Do you mean the rooted section? The milled section? Oh, there we go. Okay. And then on the side, I guess I could put outputs. You need some spacing between the characters, I imagine, so this side is probably fairly safe. Pads should be diagonal from each other, not above or below each other. I'm just going to see if I can Google what you mean. Oh no, I'm not sure I know what you mean. But is this what you're talking about? So they should act like that. Well, except we won't have one in the middle. So these should be to the central point. And mine definitely aren't. So these need to be... let's try and change the thing to 90. No. What am I doing? 90. So... well, it needs to be as tall as... Look at your bottom filament. The verticals above it need to be spaced left and right more. Like that. Oh, hang on. What am I... oh, I see. Like this bit here. So like that. Ah, I got ya. Okay. Well, that makes things much easier, doesn't it? And I can definitely create these in a bit more of a more pleasing angle. Not quite 45 degrees, I don't think. Probably 65. Oh, don't want it to go to the middle, though. No, it's going to have to change to 70. I'm just going to look at that picture again. Yeah, that's probably okay. That's bang on in the center. So this one needs to be, if that one's 70, this one needs to be 110. Yeah. That looks all right. Oh, it's a shame this one sticks up so far, but that's fine. Yeah, let's do that. I'm worried that there's just not enough filament being lit to make this very readable. But we'll figure it out. Okay, so my spacing down here looks to be okay. Spacing there is about the same, so is that. Up here it isn't, so we need to bring that down. That looks reasonable. What do you think? Oh, I'm no perfectionist, Sion, so I think I'm probably happy with this. But now I need to mirror what I've got down the bottom here. That's just janky, isn't it? Let's change that. Oops. Don't know what that button is. Okay. Now we're doing it up here as well, so that's going to be... What did I... Oh, I need to use the middle mouse. 70, okay. So 70 and 110, wasn't it? So, oh, it can go up a bit. Does that look right? It's never going to look right. Yeah, it looks okay. We'll do that. Ooh. Right, let's get routing, shall we? Ugh. I just hate... Oh, do you know what? Let's not do that, because I've got my grid set really finely so I can move these parts around. So let's change that to 92 to 92. That'd be okay. It's a little bit smaller at least. I might need to go wider actually. So 42 to 42. Okie doke, let's do this. So we're going to root on the top of the board. Well, that one's nice and easy. Whoa! What happened there? What's gone on? Did you see that? Why has everything moved around? Edit, undo, edit, undo. What the devil happened there? Well, that's frustrating. Why did everything move? I don't really get it. Literally just undid everything. Does Control undo everything you've done ever? Oh, well, unfortunately, I made an action after I did undo, so now... Oh, what's the deal with that? How frustrating. Well, we'll just have to go back and change all of that again. Those angles are... The angles are different again. Oh my lord. Oh no, that was meant to be 70, wasn't it? Well, at least I know what numbers to type in. Oh no, that's wrong. 70. He doesn't know what numbers to type in. Control Z is the thing I pressed, so I don't know. Don't know what the devil's going on. But that was undid the last 10 minutes work, so that's always good, isn't it? Rolls eyes. Let's see if I can line these up. I really like having this big cursor to line stuff up with. I mean, I could actually space them correctly by typing in the coordinates, I think, couldn't I? Yeah, I could. So let's make it 18. Oh no, it's not that. Let's line it up exactly with that, which is 18 point that. Okay. Yeah, I will save it once it's lined up. God, there are lots of people turning up. Hello, everybody who's just watching me and Sion having a conversation. Oh, come on, Eagle. Don't do this to me. Just let's get along, shall we? Let's be friends. Oh, that was the wrong one, wasn't it? I want that one. You can see how fine my grid is with all these blooming numbers on it. Okay, and that needs to come across. Oh, about there. That looks okay to me. Now, I've got to bring these ones down. Do you know what? Let's just turn off the... Okay, I've managed to type that in incorrectly. Let's get rid of ground for now. We don't really need it. I've got this habit of clicking the rat's nest tool every time I move something. Do you think that gap there, do you think that gap is too small? Do you think that's going to present a problem for the fabrication house or not? Those are equally spaced. That one isn't. Oh, I don't like the look of it. Okay, let's save that. And then I'm going to use the move. Do I need to move it? I don't need to move. Let's just properties from 42 to 42. That's 42, 0 to 42. I want to go for 92 and 92. Less than that. 91, I think. Let's try that. Could have gone with 90 actually. Except, I haven't got any mounting holes or anything on it. Never mind. Let's just start routing and then, or routing or whatever. We want to go on the bottom here. What is the width of my track? That's probably okay actually. And oh yeah, some of these are on the top and some are on the bottom. Why did I do that? Can't quite remember why. Oh, it was when, yeah, they all can be on the top now actually. It was when I was planning on overlapping the pads. But since I'm no longer doing that, I can undo that. Now, I need a fairly thin trace width to get around all of these places. So I think it's going to have to be, that says 0.154. My grid is in millimeters. So why is it showing me? Let's try 0.5 millimeter. Yeah, that is, so it is in millimeters. But what I can do is make the power paths all in a larger Why are you doing that to me? There we go. In thicker trace. So 0.5 millimeters for the power traces. Then it's not going to be a lot of current anyway, so actually it will be fine, but it's always nice to see if we can organize it a bit better. So all of these are sharing. Go on along the top. There we go. All of these share power because we're syncing the current through the IC. Now, are they all connected to power? Yes, they are. Except for this one. Okay. Let's have a round trace. Oh, that's funny. I don't know why it's funny, but I do like. And we're going to route this along the bottom of the board and come out here. Use the middle mouse button. We've got 3 volts over here. That's cool. Okie doke. That is power, pretty much. And now everything else is a signal. So, well, a sync line, I guess, but to me it's going to be easier to identify as a signal. Now, would it be easier to rotate this? Yeah, it might. Actually, no, there's probably more space. Yeah, we'll put it back where it was. That's fine. Okay, let's figure this out. So we've got 1 here, so let's do that first. We're going to drop down to a 0.15 mil trace. Ooh, God, that does seem very small. 1.7. I mean, that's quite small, isn't it? What about 0.2? Does that seem overly tiny? Well, if it was SMD, I think I'd be fine with that, actually, because it's probably the width of a pin, isn't it? So it's probably okay. So, do we want to go on the top of the board? I guess we do for now. And let's send this one down the center. I'm going to end up ripping all of these tracks up, I know. When we get down to these ones here, I'm going to have to bring it around the outside of this. So maybe I should have had a plan in place, depending on which ones go where. But this one is fairly easy. Can you not do that? So we can bring this all the way down and around. Now each one of these is only going to be syncing like 7 or 8 milliamps, so it's not an awful lot for that trace to handle. I don't particularly like having it on the edge of the board like that, or near one of these drill holes, because if they mess up the drill, then you know what happens, the trace will get cut. So let's come out on this side again. Where are we going with that? Not far from where we were before. We're going to go on the bottom side of the board this time. And fire it across here. Okay. So another thing I don't particularly like doing is overlapping paths, even if they are on the top and the bottom, because they're then impossible to jump over. So you can't use a wire to get through this. You have to use a different path. So it's kind of frustrating when that happens. So that's routed. Let's go for this one next. We'll go on the top. And we'll come down and shoot straight across. And go on the bottom. Okay. The TLC 5940, this one's in a dip package, but there is an SMD one, and I think you'd kill me, wouldn't you, Sion, if I suddenly said, let's look at it. Let's look at this SMD version. I'm not going to. Trust me, I'm fine with dip. If I go SMD, you're going to go all SMD parts. You can't get SMD filaments. Well, I guess you can solder it directly to the board. I'm not going to go SMD though. It's fine. I think someone's just asked what would I consider making the. Have you considered making the cutout portion just where the LEDs are and overlapping the segments so that the lit portions join together? So the lit portions join together. I'm not sure I know what you mean. So these LEDs are like pretty weird. That's they're fairly strange. So let's see if we can change the exposure on the webcam. It's a bit odd, admittedly, but you can see some sections of it that aren't illuminated. And that is, let's measure it. .9mm on either side of the filament. So it's fairly large. So there's a big section of this cutout that isn't going to have an illuminated LED in. So I think it's going to look a little bit rubbish, but it's fine, I think, because we're looking at it as a retro looking display, and I think that's what it will appear to be. Plus, if we add some diffusion to the front of it in some fashion, when you put it in a case or something, then I think these segments will sort of blend together a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. It's all still an experiment, and we might find out, Sion, that it is just absolutely rubbish. You never know. It really could be terrible, but we're gonna give it a go. Right, let's get a few more of these done. Can I come down here? Oh, look how close that is. I'm not even sure that they'll allow that kind of thing. Well, I'm going to give it a go. Oh dear. Should I just let Eagle do that for me? I mean, that feels like it's not right. All right, well, we'll explore the diffuser at a later date, I guess. Oh, learn to use the middle mouse button, David, you idiot. And we'll just go along here. Whoops. What? There we go, that's better. And shoot down there. Okie doke. I don't like this at all. I'm tempted to go the other way around this filament and come down this way, because there's just a bit more space there. In fact, I'm going to take that away. And we'll get rid of this trace. And add that back on. Oh god, I hate to admit it, but that's a pretty good point. I'm not sure these filaments are in the ideal position. So they could be closer to the IC, couldn't they? Essentially. So the signals up here would actually come from here. Alright. Let's do that. Oh, do you know what? He's ripped up everything. But it is a better idea. There we go. Okay, so we've got signal, 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 power, power. Power's down here, we can bring that up. And where is power? I've labelled that as 3.3 volts. Is that what I wanted to do? I guess it doesn't matter, it's just a label. Okay, so power is there. Let's send it over the other way, actually. Okay, I've ruined the spacing on the whole thing, but let's 5 again. Let's do this one more time. And obviously this isn't perfectly spaced. It's never going to be the final board, so I'm happy enough to just run with what it looks like now. Ugh, actually maybe not this. Maybe just move that a little. and then just remove these wires. Where else have we got power? Just over here. And that's it, isn't it? Almost. That one needs to go round, doesn't it? Okie doke. So, actually, that was a really, really good suggestion, so thank you. And then we'll use this bottom pad to join these. What are you doing? Oh, that's better. There we go, that's all of the powers joined up again. That one could have been over that side. I don't think it particularly matters. And then power needs to join from here, so let's throw that along. Now, of course, I haven't got any power input just now. I haven't put anything in for that, but we'll fight that battle when it comes to it. Could I get away with wires that thick? I don't think I can really, so let's not try. Okie doke. Right, so that is much better. So thank you very much for that. Let's bring that all the way down. God, we're going all the way over here. That's not an ideal filament placement. And I don't know why I've done them in this order particularly, but I kind of like, I suppose it doesn't matter. I could have had just a table of whatever these filaments were and maybe arranged them in the easiest possible way, but I've just set it out so that oh, I'm gonna have to redo this table now, but I've just set it out as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. L, M, N, O, P? No, there's no there's nothing after M apart from the decimal point, so that's why I've laid it out in that way. We haven't got very far. It's been an hour. Right, okay, so I think down here, stick on a wire, come all the way along and drop it in there. That's fine. This is pretty slapdash. I just want to get a prototype so that I can play with it. So I just need a working board. I mean, I kind of like the breadboard one, but getting this many segments on there is not easy. Well, that's a little close, but it doesn't seem to be complaining. It does take a lot longer, you're right, Sion. And there's like a million more mistakes. So where am I going with this one? I can stay on the top layer for this. Where next? I like the look of this one. Where's that going? Just there. Okay. It's a bit cheeky, that one. Because I'll come to regret that whole one, I think. Never mind. Where's next? That one. This one. Let's take this one out. Okie doke. Wait, oh. Where do you want to go? Down here. Okay. Eagle, help me out. Show me that you can go this way. Why have you got that weird nubbin on the end? Just there we go. Go the other way. I wish I could figure out how you're meant to do this. I'll just start from this side. That's better. Live chat isn't a distraction. It's kind of the reason I do a stream. Whoa. Uh-oh. There we go, that's all right. Auto route. Oh my lord. I mean, we could see what it will do if you want. You can get a preview and then cancel it, I think. Should we have a little look? God, it will make it look horrendous. All right, let's give it a go. I don't recommend this. Effort low. Yeah, well, that's pretty much my standard. Continue. Start. Let's see what it comes up with. So, okay. Well, that doesn't actually look very far off what I would do. I'm not going to use any, obviously. God, the wires on those, terrible. Well, we're almost done anyway, so we're not far off. What are we doing next? Let's go for one of these. These are pretty much boxed in, you'll see. So we're going to have to be careful with these, and I think we're going to have to use quite a few wires here. See, this is now just annoying. Where can you take me? Can we go out this way? Alright, let's go out this way. You're going to have to hop onto the bottom layer. Okay, right. Auto route just makes some decisions that you'd rather make yourself. It's not that it wouldn't create an electrically correct circuit, because it probably would. You wouldn't do it if you were doing something with any kind of susceptibility to RF, or you certainly wouldn't do it if you were making like a boost converter or something, because they have to have a specific layout. So you do like polygons for those. But yeah, it absolutely make a working circuit. I know a guy that does PCB design for music stuff, and they're like crazy circuits. So they're all like amazing silkscreen, and like part of the circuit might be a big long track and it's resistor or whatever, but a lot of the times it's like some LEDs and some logic, and it creates music somehow. I don't understand all the details of that kind of stuff, but he uses auto router. He just throws it on. It doesn't matter to him. Now we're going to go through the chicane. I mean, this is folly, isn't it, really? That is horrendous. In this case, I just don't want to use the auto router. I prefer to do it by hand. It's the fun thing about making a PCB to me. Oh god, we need to get up there. How are we going to do that? On the bottom, I think. There's one left. One. Save. I'm just worried about it going wrong again. Imagine if it undid everything. I think I'd quit the stream. Rage quit. Right, one left, and it's going to that one up there. Perfect. This one's easy. What's... Oh, there's a trace there. Okay, that is them all done. My word. Okay. Alright, now the worst bit. Because I've not really left myself any space to pull out these lines. So let's... Hang on, didn't I put wires on these before? Did it undo that as well? One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, that's right. And then we also need one for VCC and ground. So I like to use Are we going to use SMD patch? Oh, I've never seen those before. What are we going to use? Do I want to use test pads for this? No, I don't actually. Let's not do that. I'll use the pinhead library. And I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, or is it 8? Let's try 8 for now. I've never seen that before. It's got a 3D model. Sweet. Okay, now let's find out where we can put this on the board, because there's pretty much nowhere. Probably going to have to extend the bottom down, aren't I? It's going to be the easiest way to get these broken out. Oh, it's so not ideal to have that many pins. Well, it's just too many, isn't it? Sion's not going to like this. Not going to like having that many pins. Let's just hack this together for now, and then we'll go back and we'll redraw it better. But let's just pop these all in. Sion will be, I think he might be angry. He might actually be angry about how ugly I'm making this by adding, what did I say, 8 pins? 8 wires for each display. I mean, gosh. It's so many. Maybe I should just do without the dimming. And just go for the MCP thing. And then it's only 4 wires, isn't it? Oh. I don't know what to do. Alright, we'll just go with this. I've got all the parts to make it. And if we just get like 3 done, I'll just get it done at Oshark or something like that. And then just have it done real quick. Right. How am I going to route this one? Oh, actually, we can go around here. That's all right. Uh-oh. Okie doke. That's not going to work out, is it? How am I going to get around that? Okay. The easiest thing to do is just going to be to bring those underneath. That gives me a bit more space here. Need to do that. Right, where to next? I need to get by. Right, let's take that out and give ourselves a little bit of space here. Alright, it's a bit how you doing, as Dave would say. Right, where are we going with this? Not the bottom layer. Is it the PCM, not PCM, PC963? Is that the one you're thinking of? That is the wrong code. Yeah, the PCA 9685. Yeah, it's awesome. It's an I2C PWM LED driver, basically, isn't it? Well, it's not even an LED driver. It's just a PWM port expander. Yeah, I did see it. It is SMD only. I'm not saying we can't do SMD. I'm just saying the first prototype I do is definitely going to be a lovely old dip package. Yeah, it is expensive. The TLC 5940 is expensive, though. It is not a cheap IC. Cool, that feels wrong. Oh, crumbs. This doesn't look... That doesn't feel right. Doing that weird thing. Oh, do you know what I could have done there? And what I will... I'm just going to undo what I did there. And we're just going to move that over here. There we go. That's better. Oh. Oh no, did I want to do that? I don't think I did. Did I want to do that? Oh, where am I going with this? You're just going to have to get ripped up, and we'll figure out where to put you later. Uh-oh, here's that problem again. Where I've not given myself sufficient space. But that is one air wire left. Okay, so let's route that through. You can jump to the bottom layer. You automatically create a via? No, you won't. Okay. Let's make this board a little smaller. Oops. 90, I think it will go to. Go less than that. Oof, not quite that. 89. Okay. Well, that will work. Oh, we haven't done one thing. I need a resistor. Crumbs, where is that going to go? I don't think there's an awful lot of space left. REU. Is that normal? 5mm. Oh, do you know what? Let's do a pillar one. I like those. Perfect. And does it go to ground or does it go to VCC? Let's see. IREF. Reference current terminal. Nope. Supply current, input current, constant sync, current error. There's probably like a standard diagram somewhere, isn't there, of how to use the thing. It goes to ground. Okay. So that's nice and small. And here, around here somewhere. Let's change the angle on it to be 70. Oh, maybe not 70. 65. There we go. Oh, maybe not quite that. Let's switch it around again. Okay, so these are pillar resistors. I don't know if they're called pillar. They basically, the resistor body sits there, and then you bend the leg over and solder that in place that way, so that it's not a big long flat line. It just sticks up instead, which is which I kind of like. So let's get that in there. What are we going to do here? Should we come up the way? I guess we will. Let's give myself a little bit more space up here. There we go. So that's it's going to be a 2K resistor, I think, or a 2.2. Where's value? There it is. And that will set our current limiting for the individual outputs. There's probably a section in here that tells you about how to calculate it. I'm not quite sure where it is. Is there a contents page? There is. Let's have a look. So pin configuration and functions. What page is that? 3. Maybe not. IREF, reference current terminal, that's the thing. Yeah, it's definitely something. Well, it's doing it there, but I don't know what the calculation is. Yeah, I'll look it up another time. It's not like that's set in stone or anything, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, it says here, determined by an external resistor. Ah, here we are, setting maximum channel current. Could have used Control F, but I didn't know what I was looking for. So the maximum output current per channel is programmed by a single resistor on the IREF pin, or IREF, well, that's basically the current reference, isn't it? Which IREF, can't talk, which is placed between current reference pin and ground. What's on that ref is internal band gap 1.24, the maximum. Okay, so current is 1.24 divided by my resistance value times 31.5. Must be between 5 milliamps and 120. Okay, let's get a calculator. Right, so 1.24 divided by 2200. God, that's weird. Times 31.5. 170, that's not right, is it? 177. So that's the maximum sync current. So divide that by 16 channels, gives me 11 milliamps per channel. But I don't want to do that. What about 4.7? Oops. Fat fingers. 1.24 divided by 4700 times 31.5. 83 milliamps for the whole thing. Kind of want it to be 120. How do I work backwards? It doesn't matter. I'll look it up. It's fine. So we have it all sort of done. let's let's not bother. I was going to corner off the edges there, but I might not worry about it. Yeah, I think that's everything. I don't think we need to do anything else. So let's save that, and we'll take advantage of OSH Park's ability to read these things and show us a board preview. And then I'm going to end the stream because it's gone on 40 minutes longer than I wanted it to. So it was just meant to be me messing about. Right. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Do you know what? It looks actually legit right now. I mean, obviously the silk screen isn't correct. Need to mess around with that. But I kind of like the layout. It looks all right. I can imagine that being a digit. It's freaking massive though. Look, 94.2 by 42.2. How big is that on one of these? In fact, let's jump back to this thing. Advanced settings. Save. Okay, right. So this thing here, the board, is probably about 42, I think. No, it is 51 millimeters, which is 2.01 inches for those of you that operate in those measurements, and this is 69 millimeters, well, 70 millimeters, or 2.75. So that's what it is in this crappy form. So it's quite a lot bigger, isn't it? So 94 would be, I mean, obviously this doesn't have the IC on or anything, so that's the reason. IC on, wow, I never really thought about that before. So 94.2, bang on 94.2. It's very difficult to show you how much larger that is. So quite a lot taller, but then we've got the space for the IC there, and 42.2.3. So it's thinner. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, I guess it's time to get some printed, but not for $30.75. If I really wanted a purple PCB, then maybe I would. So I think I'll get it from somewhere else. Give a different fabrication house a try. Maybe I've used PCBs.io before. Maybe I'll have a look at PCBWay or something like that and see what they've got going on. I don't know though. Not sure if they're any good. Yeah, I'll try PCBWay, I think, Sion. JLC PCB are taking over the world, so I'm going to give those guys a miss for now. Variable resistor is not a terrible idea, actually, but I think for now, for safety's sake, I'm going to stick with a fixed value. So that's because the output current can't go above what was the max rating there? Output current can't go above 130, and I've blown some of these chips up before by taking too much current. They overheat, so it got very hot to the touch and didn't work again. So you do need to set the maximum value. So yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna I mean, I never send something off straight away because I always worry that I've done something wrong. So what I'm going to do is mull over it for a couple of days, tweak a few things on the design, and then send it off, I think. Yeah. I'm not sure that's in the best place. Ideally, it would probably be over here, so that when you chain them together, you could just link those two together. But again, you've got this serial in, serial out that's not exactly interchangeable. Unless I put a jumper, so you'd select whether it's the master or the slave. I'm not sure. Okay, I think that's it for tonight. I'm getting tired. I've got work tomorrow. And I may have stayed up really late yesterday. So I kind of need to go to bed. All right, well, thanks a lot for joining. I know it's not exactly the most super exciting stream that you guys have probably seen recently, but hopefully, Sion, this was an interesting addition to the project. I look forward to seeing what you come up with, the new sort of design that you're going to have with it. And the MCP, well, in fact, you know what? This is the first video I think I'm sort of breaking the rule here, aren't I? By replying to you in chat. That might be breaking the rules. I don't know. I'll let chat decide whether it's breaking the rules or not. All right. Good night, all.